All right. Peace. What's going on, everybody? What's the word? What is the word? What's the word, y'all? Let me see something right quick, though. Hold on. Okay. I think I'm good now. All right. Peace. What's going on, everybody? What's the word, man? How y'all doing out there? Can y'all see and hear me out there loud and clear? Can y'all see and hear me out there loud and clear? Good. So what's going on, everybody, man? I noticed the timing is a little different. I know y'all used to catching me on here in the evenings, but I had a Sunday and I had some downtime. We didn't have any classes today, no webinars today for quantum imaging membership. So I said, you know what, Drew, let me hop on these YouTube streets and put together something for the people. Been a couple weeks since I've been on here, and I kind of promised this one, so I said I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But on to everybody in the chat, I see you. I see you, affluent goddess. Rondé, what's going on? Infinite abundance, what's going on? Jamila, what's popping? Who else we got here? Who is this here? Vibronica Moon, what's going on? Uh-oh. Crystal's house. Who else we got in here? Who is this? Who is this here? Oh, y'all see? Okay, here we go. Indigo Earth Angel, what's going on? Jay Jammin's in the building. Tanisha's in the building. Christian's in the building. Shout out to everybody who's in the house. What's going on, man? So let me see something. All right, so welcome. I go by the name of Minister Jew. For those that don't know me, that's my handle. That's what I go by out here on these YouTube streets, Instagram streets, anywhere where you have ever known me to teach. That's what I go by. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Come on in. Find yourself a seat. Make yourself welcome. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell for the notifications. So whenever I do decide to go live, you'll get a notification and you'll know, okay, Minister Julie talking about something tonight. And if you got the time to come on through to kick it with me, then you come on through and kick it with me. But yeah, so tonight, well, not tonight, but this afternoon, man, I wanted to touch on Kamala just a little bit, but it really just isn't about her, because I got several more examples in this presentation that I want to show y'all this afternoon. But I wanted to demonstrate how to identify these quantum mirrors. And then hopefully you can be able to extract enough from this to get an idea about how you should go about implementing it in your personal space, in your personal life, to get a similar result. Anytime I'm teaching or open my mouth about anything, any subject matter, it's going to always be a boomerang that's right back to you, so that you can, you can get in the spirit of practice. That's really all I care about, man. I just care about people being able to practice these things, having something tangible to do, in order to get a physical result, a literal result. Sometimes heads be so far high up in the clouds that we forget about, just the regular things that we need to be doing in order to see breakthroughs happening here. Let me see. Am I coming through clear? Am I coming through clear? Somebody in the chat, let me know. Okay, because boy, on my end, all right, this thing jumping up and down and all kind of stuff. But okay, so let me see what happens if I do this. Let me see. Wow, now I don't even see the Am I still coming through clear? Because now I don't even see my internet connection button. This is weird. Or strange rather. Am I still broadcasting? Can y'all hear me out there? Okay, everybody's saying yes. Okay, so I'm gonna assume yes. Before we do this, let me see something here. Let me see something here, Joe. I want to play this video clip. Let me see what happens if I upload video file. Right, 1 second, y'all. I want to go to download. Told you. Boom.
Mr. Ford, what advice would you give a young lady wanting to become?
Okay, hold on. So I'm gonna pause this.
Mr. Ford,
Did this pop up on y'all screen? Can y'all see this? This is my first time using this feature on here. Is this popping up on y'all screen? Okay. So some people saying it's a little choppy. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna play this. And let me know if y'all can hear this. I'm gonna play this though.
Ford, what advice would you give a young lady wanting to become president of the United States?
Well, I hope we do have a young lady at some point become president of the United States. I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events.
Okay. So let me see here. So this is the video, right? Let me take this out of here because let me see. Let me just remove this. I just wanted to use that as a reference so that y'all can be able to see, you know, the video I'm not making up. But you can YouTube that video and watch the longer version of it. It was giving me a problem uploading the entire speech. But in there, President Ford, in what was that year, 1989, visited this particular library, and a very young girl in the crowd asked a question. And the question was, you know, Mr. Ford, do you think there will ever be a woman president of the United States of America? So I want to, let me do this. Let me see something, Drew. Let me see something. If I minimize that screen, hold on 1 second. Let me pop this up here. Let me go back here. And then let me go present and share screen in this window. Oh man. Okay, came right on through this time. All right, can y'all see my presentation? Can y'all see my screen? I just need some feedback. Okay, so some people in the chat saying they saw that video before. So that's great. How many of y'all saw this video before? How many of you guys saw that video before with President Ford in 1989 at a library, giving his rendition of what he thought and how it would happen? Okay, so hold on, wait. Let me go back, man. Let me go back. Hold on. It's a small box. Hold on, y'all be patient. Let me expand this, and let me see what happens if I go like this. That might be better, right? And then if I go like this, all right. Can y'all now is that better? That's better. Is that a little better for y'all? Okay. Cool. So some people said they saw that video before, right? Right? That's what y'all saying. Y'all saw the video before. So let's go, Drew. And now I want y'all to pay attention to something here too. I put a date here, October 20th, 1964. I put that date there for a reason. Anybody know what this date represents right here in relationship to Kamala Harris? Anybody in the chat? October 20th, 1964. Anybody have any idea why this date is important? And don't overthink it. Very simple. This is the day that Kamala Harris was born. October 20th, 1964. Okay, now just follow me on this. I want to show y'all these quantum mirrors and why some things went out and why some things don't. So again, in this video, right, 1989, President Ford interview on a female president. You go to YouTube, you can watch the entire clip. In this video clip, Mr. Ford said some very particular, specific things. He said, and I quote, he says he thinks it will happen, but it won't happen in the traditional sense of how a person is, quote unquote, elected to be the president of the United States. He said either on the Democratic or the Republican ticket, whoever wins the presidency on either side, he said this is how he envisions it happening. It will be a male president, a man, whether Republican or Democrat. He said, on that ticket, that man who runs for president and wins will have a vice president on his ticket, which is a woman. He said, and then some unforeseeable event will happen to the man that got elected that had the woman as his VP pick. In other words, as the young people say, the president will be unalived in some fashion, maybe get sick, assassination attempt, it could be whatever. And this will force the VP pick, which would have been the woman on that ticket, to move into the presidential spot. So this is what he said in the video. Now, I'm going to tell you something about the general public in society at large. They own to it, but they ain't quite got it down right just yet, Jew. Because they don't know these principles. So this is what you get. Let me explain how this goes. You got people saying this whole thing is a script, right? They say it's a script, Jew, or whoever they talking to. It's a script. The NFL is rigged. It's a script. The NBA is rigged. It's a script. Every no matter what's going on, everything is a script. So they're saying somebody, goddamn, Jew, somebody is putting together this elaborate scheme where everything has to go just right, which means everybody who's participating in the script has to be aware that it's a script, because somebody that's not aware that they're supposed to be playing a specific part in the script, what if they start ad-libbing? What if they start going out of character because they don't know that they're supposed to be playing a script? That's a huge idea, people. That's a huge idea. What I'm going to go on the record to say is this. Yeah, it's a script, but it's being written, whether consciously or unconsciously, by several players who don't even know that they're writing a script. It's called what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and what the hell they are saying out of their mouths. Okay? So especially when the people who are doing the talking are in alignment with the philosophy, the precedent, the ins and outs of said conversation piece that they're having. So what do I mean when I say this? If somebody in the basketball world says something out of their mouth in relationship to something that may happen, the probability that it will happen is greater for that person and in that league. Why? because this person has an entanglement with the subject matter. They're intertwined with the subject matter. So in other words, they call it, in scripture, familiar spirits. Well, when the spirit of the person is familiar with the said protocols, then it makes it a lot easier for their suggestions to be made manifest in that particular field. So when you got a sitting president or a former sitting president, okay, who is now speaking, remember what scripture says, every idle word that man shall speak, he shall give account thereof on the day of judgment. So as a former president who's speaking, he has the ins and outs. He's very familiar. So now, essentially, when he utters his mouth, and boy, if y'all really understood the power of a question, God, the moment that he answers that question, and he says this is how he envisions it happening, right then and there, Mr. Ford just cast what people in the quote unquote spiritual community would call it a spell. So this is why I tell people, specifically my members, I say, look, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you need to make sure that you get entangled with the information in relationship to what it is that you say that you want. So if you in the beauty business, then you need to be watching all of the greats that came before you that deal with the subject matter of beauty. Why? Because now you're tapping into a stream of consciousness from people that, and they don't even got to be alive, people. They don't even have to be still in these physical shells we call bodies. But the moment you start to tap into it, you start to get a stream, you puncture from a larger stream, and now you allow that current that was running from that larger stream of consciousness to the people that were talking, reciting, doing. Now you're, like an HVAC man, if you need to run some HVAC, you need to get some HVAC done, and you may need to add an extended piece onto the existing HVAC. Well, you'll get a trained professional who deals with heating and cooling in homes, and they will come in and they will tap in and run some more ductwork into an existing line to send off an offshoot, or what they would call a branch, so that heat and that air can be conducted to whatever location that you want it to go to. It's the same thing in consciousness, people. So what's your main line? Huh? Do you even have a primary focus? Huh? Do you even have a primary focus? Do you have a target? So a lot of people be running around here willy-nilly, really don't even know what they want. And that's the biggest mistake in manifestation. You don't even know what current to tap into. But that's a whole nother conversation. So anyway, we got Ford, a former president who's giving his opinion, his vision on how that will even take place. So I left this out in my beginning because I wanted y'all to know, I like the wow and the awe factor to hit people as I'm talking. So I said he was talking at a library where this interview took place. Well, it wasn't just any old library. It was the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library and Museum. Oh, wait, now we got another element here. We got, you got layered cakes. Well, we got layered mirrors. We got multiple mirrors being stacked upon each other, reflecting. So you got a former president in a space dedicated to another former president where he's giving his suggestions and projections about how a woman will become president. But you may say, okay, Jew, all right. Well, now let's look, Jew, because I remember I told y'all to say the date, October 20th, 1964. 89 Ford is in this building that we know is the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library and Museum in Iowa. Huh? But let's look though, Jew. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The Herbert Hoover Library, you say, Jew? Huh. Herbert Hoover died on October 20th, 1964. Uh-oh. Can somebody say it again to me, the date Kamala was born? Anybody? Anybody? What Jigga say? What Hov say? On the Murder to Excellence joint with Kanye on the Throne album? He said, I arrived on the day Fred Hampton died. Real niggas just multiply. So it's interesting. Very interesting. For a previous president, Hoover, a previous president, Ford is speaking about what he thinks the future of a woman president will be in a building dedicated to Herbert Hoover. And it just so happens that the woman who had the legitimate shot to be president was born on the day Herbert Hoover died. This sounds like some Abe Lincoln mystic chords of memory. Huh? So now I'm showing y'all something here. Because see, the hippocampus, listen, it ain't just about the imaginal part, right? That's one facet of the hippocampus. The other facet of the hippocampus deals with spatial orientation, like literally where you are in space. So now look what we got. We got Ford exercising the you know how the young man who just won the Heisman Trophy of Colorado, Deion Sanders, forget the young boy named Hunter. I think it's Travis Hunter is his name, right? He's a dual threat. Why? Because he was able to what? He played on both sides of the ball. He was a top-notch cornerback, top-notch receiver. He one of the first to come along to play that way in a long time to win a Heisman. So think of Mr. Hunter and your hippocampus as the same type of energy. The hippocampus is a dual threat. It said, okay, I can imagine, but I also can embody the spatial landmass and where I am at, right? To also produce a phenomenon and a result. So I remember reading a study where they were showing people who had never been to California or Los Angeles, when they got on a plane to go to LA, their hippocampus started to draw out the geographical location of where they would land, even though they never had physically been in the location before, which reminds me of the scripture in Joshua, where it says, wherever the sole of thy foot shall tread, that place I have given you. So even if people had never physically been there, their brains was already processing the geographical location. See, we are wildly underestimating what and who we are. See, kilo in these little bodies, you running around thinking, oh, it's just little old me. And that's okay. Oh, all right, fine. If that's the most you can make of yourself. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You're God, people, in these little bitty bodies. All of us. And listen, this is a very hard thing to grasp because you got the Black Power people, you got the you got the conspiracy folks, you got all these different facets of people pulling you in all of these the Black Lives Matter, you got the Ku Klux Klan, you got all these different pulleys pulling you here, all of that. And so that's the dream. Everybody's caught up in the dream of life. We're all playing out these parts. But boy, let me tell you, everybody in these physical bodies, you are all members, rank and file, called Elohim. Huh? 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 So what you have to understand is, and see, I see somebody in the comments, she didn't have a legitimate shot, didn't go through the preliminaries part. See, I get it. Y'all stuck in the movie part of it. You're not understanding the larger part of what makes things happen. Because even if she didn't go through the preliminaries, that's a logical argument to make. Had she got the vote, she would have been the president. See, the script is stronger than any of the logical faculties that we want to induce. And trust me, as a member of the zodiacal gang called Gemini, you ain't gonna find anybody with more reason and rationale than Minister Jude. Trust me when I tell you this. But I'm trying to show you guys something larger than the scope of how we view things in this 3D reality. This thing, so in scripture, it would say something like this: as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your way. This thing has a whole nother level of intelligence. And so when you start to peek behind the veil, you if you're wise enough, you can start to see the synchronicities line up to watch this invisible thing called consciousness move through the story. Okay? You will start to see it. So then things like this appear, and everybody like, oh, wow, Jew. President Lisa Simpson in the Simpsons episode Bark to the Future, and the Vice President Kamala Harris. And they said, wow, the Simpsons did it again. Because now you got all of these running narratives. Now, see, let me tell y'all something about this quantum thing. People are putting their different stuff in the gumbo pot. And then it's brewing on up. It's brewing on up. But see, this is why Paul, when that lady was walking around, that the fortune-telling lady was walking around, that was doing all the fortune-telling to keep the kings and the men that she was working for rich, she was walking around and she pointed out Paul in the race. She said, those men are men of God. And Paul said, fortune-telling spirit, come out of her. See, let me tell you, let me give y'all some game. Give y'all some game. See, what we're failing to realize is that observation is creating the reality. So yes, a person can see into a person's field to look at the possibilities that are there according to what? The thoughts and the feelings that that person is having. So that's what a seer is doing. They're looking into that way. They may not be consciously aware of the process because different structures in their brain are a little bit more heavier, excited than the normal person. So usually a person who is seer, clairvoyant type of energy, they got a lot more electricity moving around in their limbic brain, right? But that can all be thwarted by the person who they're looking into having a different outlook or perspective on the situation in the drop of a dime. I mean, in the drop of a dime. So then you get everybody adding these pieces to the gumbo pot, but it is going to be predominantly based upon what? Where is the strongest observation being made? So this is what, the scripture, we don't fight against flesh and blood, we fight against the principality. See, you're warring everybody, not everybody, because some people not even in the fight per se, but when you got these clashes, you got so much energy on each side making an observation. So then as you're leading up to the climax of the film or whatever's taking place, you're going to get these type of winks that pop out of the gumbo pot. Huh? So now you got Lisa walking, and then all of a sudden, Harris shows up at the inauguration on the VP ticket as the VP on the ticket with Joe Biden. So now what Ford said back in 89, now all of a sudden, here goes the strongest pulley on said event. And Kamala showed up with the exact same dress. She dressed just like President Lisa Simpson. Huh? So Ford said, he thought what would happen. He said something dramatic would happen to the sitting president who put the woman on as the vice president and on the ticket as the vice president, right? So let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all. Almost happened. So this was going around. Political people, I saw Ron DeSantis, other people in the political arena, they were cracking fun at Joe Biden. They were saying another weekend at Biden's. Y'all remember the movie Another Weekend at Bernie's? A Weekend at Bernie's? This meme was floating around everywhere. They photoshopped Biden's head on Bernie's head and said it's another weekend at Biden. Now listen, man, listen. I'm just calling it how it is. We all see what's going on with Joe Biden. Look, you can be on whatever side of the aisle you want to be on. Fine. But if you just look at it objectively, say, okay, you can clearly see he's cognitively declining, right? And so they were making these memes saying, man, it's really nobody here. It's really nobody upstairs. This is just basically a zombie walking around, right? So then I said, well, man, you start to see all of these threads coming together from this quote unquote prophecy, right? So if you go back and you remember, you start to look through scripture, you see Paul always mention these degrees, right? And he says the very first is the apostle, then it's the prophet, then it's the teacher. So he starts to go down, then it's the miracle workers. Then he starts to go down this whole list. So he said, and this is why I tell y'all the apostle comes first, because the apostle is the one who understands how to pierce into this thing to create. So that's why the apostle is always going to be first ranking file. And then right after that comes the ones who deal with prophetic or prophecy, like Ford did, right? So it became highly probable that this would be something that would happen, that Joe might check up out of here, man. Or that he starts to reduce so much in his cognitive ability that they say, look, Joe, we got to enact whatever amendment. We're going to have to let Kamala step in and take over. It started to become that movie that Ford projected started to be a thing. So much so that this was the conversation that was starting to be had. Former Kamala Harris aide says Joe Biden should resign so she can serve as the 47th president. I think the gentleman's name was Jamal Simmons. And then people started to run with that and parrot that, and that started to pick up some political steam. But ain't that what Mr. Ford said in his quote unquote prophecy? You see how these threads start to come together? Right? So now, hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on. So I want to show y'all, because I'm going to show y'all this. Because remember what I said, when you become associated with a thing, when you tap into that ductwork, all of a sudden these streams start to come in together and you start to merge in and become one with the stream. Huh? So I want to show y'all this. 3 presidents, all founding fathers, died on July 4th. Huh? On this day, 1826, on the 50th anniversary of American independence, the only 2 presidents who signed the Declaration of Independence died: John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. John Adams, the 2nd president, served between 1797 and 1801. Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd president, served between 1801 and 1809. On this day, 1831, James Monroe died. He was the 5th president, serving between 1817 and 1825. Now, the first two, Adams and Jefferson, not only did they both die on July 4th, they both died July 4th on the same day, same year, hours apart from one another. Huh? Hours apart from one another. So now you got to start asking yourself some other questions. Now, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Wait. This is starting to become strange. See, but I'm like Timotheus in scripture, where Paul said, look, go find Timotheus, for he knows all of our secrets. He'll be able to explain it to you. So I'm acting like the state of Timotheus right now. I didn't been able to look behind the curtain in the Wizard of Oz, and I'm seeing the computations clearly now, Jew. And so now it's my job to report it back to the people. Look, man, this is, I always use the Cameron lyric, computers computing. This is how this thing is computing. And so this is why you got to be very careful what you become entangled with. See, some people are tapping into streams of consciousness that ain't serving them no good. And then they wonder why, especially these young rappers, they make these videos, they put these things in their lyrics, they do all these things, and all of a sudden, 2-3 years later, the exact thing that they wrote in the record, the exact scene that they put in the music video, the exact thing they said in the blog, hold on, y'all. Are y'all still with me? Hold on one second. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me see. Give me a moment. Let me see. All right. Somebody in the chat, let me know if y'all can still hear me out there. Okay, so we good? All right. We good? All right. So let me say that now. So anyways, this is how this thing is being oh wow, that's why, Jew. Hold on one second, y'all. That's odd. That's really odd. Y'all, hold on. Okay, hold on. Maybe that's what it was. All right, so sorry about that. So anyways, again, you're seeing how this thing is playing out, and just not in 1826 or 1831, but it's happening right now in 2024, 2025. We're seeing the evidence of entanglements or tapping into other streams of consciousness, whether from somebody else's suggestion or through our own suggestion by way of what we're saying, what we're thinking, what we're feeling on a regular basis. So all of these, and listen, this is why it shows to show you about your heartstrings. These men had high emotional connection to this date, because July 4th is the quote unquote Independence Day. So you just got to understand the fervor and the amount of passion that they had behind this date. And all of a sudden, the men who's got their signatures on this Declaration of Independence, they all checking out of here on the same date in which they wanted to enact their independence. Huh? So let's look at this, Joe. Hebrews 8:5 says what? See, he says, that you make all things according to the pattern which was shown to you on the mountain. So they really talking about these mirrors, these shadows, right? They say, look, man, make everything according to a pattern that you've seen on high, because everything that you make down here will only be a shadow or a reflection of that in which you saw in spirit. Right? So how are we going about making these replicas? How are we going about making these mirrors happen down here? Well, let's look at the word, Jew. Let's look at the word. Pattern. So this is why you guys, Look, man, I know some of y'all done threw the baby out with the bathwater. I know it. Some of y'all done said, man, we ain't wrestling with that Bible. And, you know, it's a whole lot of debate going on in the YouTube streets about what the Bible is, what the Bible ain't. And it's unfortunate, man, you know. It just is. But anyways, if you get you a concordance, you can see here, they've got several entries for pattern. Now, most of them, if you look here, Exodus 25:9, Numbers 8:4, you'll see for one entry has 8403 in the concordance. You got to go back there and look it up. Then that same word pattern is used differently in Numbers 8:4. So patterns is the same in Exodus 25:9, Exodus 25:40. But then when you get to Numbers 8:4, it's a different definition that they're using for the word pattern. Then if you come over to the New Testament in 1 Timothy 1:16, it's another word that they're using for pattern. Right? You see? Y'all see what's going on here? And if you go to Titus 2:7 and Hebrews 8:5, it's another word that they're using for pattern. So this is why I be telling people. People think you're reading this book in English and you think you're walking around, you got it all figured out. The whole time, you don't even know that some of these same words spelt the exact same way are not talking about the exact same thing, even though it's the exact same word. You see? So you ain't got to go in any specific order. You can pick any book you want to read out the Bible. And then if something becomes prominent to you in your psychology, or it stands out to you about, I wonder what that word means, then you go look it up. Just like when I was going over this presentation, I said, oh, okay, well, what the hell is the pattern they talking about then, Jew? What is the pattern? If I'm supposed to make a copy of the pattern, so then that word automatically sticks out in Jew psychology, say, oh, let me go find out what the hell the pattern is, right? So we see pattern here in Hebrews 8:5 is 5179. I want to first do this though, right? I want to first do this. Right? Let me see here. I want to first do this because I'm going to take y'all, but just keep that in mind, pattern, because we're going to get back to that word. But here is one of the key words that they use for your help word studies in relationship to the word pattern. Right? So it's one of the Greek words is typto or typos, right? Which means to do what, Jew? Now listen to this carefully. To strike repeatedly. In other words, to get hit with something multiple times, right? Because they're using the word repetition. It also means, see, is when you go down here, 5179 in the papyri means pattern. It is also used as a judicial proceeding. Now, wait a minute now. Wait. My members know this. My members on the inside know. Wait. How many times have we got into these words and it always come back to something litigation legal? How many times? Litigation and legalese. So a judicial proceeding, that means something's being judged here, which really means there's a measurement taking place. Because what does a judge do? A judge gives out time. And time is what? A measurement. And in quantum physics, they call it what? The measurement problem. So we go, listen, you're gonna figure this thing out. What you're thinking and what you're feeling, what you're repeating, the string that you connected to, let me tell you something. You just put yourself on trial. You just put yourself in the judicial proceeding. Now you just waiting on the good old judge to pass down your time, or did you win? Was you awarded something? So think of your manifestations as awards. You've been awarded this by the judicial proceeding. You've been awarded this by the court. Why? Because you stood through the trial, right? They call trials and tribulations. Yeah, sometimes you actually gonna have to go through some things along your manifestation journey. So yeah, some trials, but you sat through the trial, the judicial proceeding, and now here go your award. Emphasis on repetition, though. Why? Why? Because the more repetitious you are, the greater the pattern is. Keep that in mind. Now, why did I even bring that up, Jew? Why did I even bring that up, Jew? What does got to do with anything? Oh, we're going to tie this into some current events. So, Jamie Foxx got a special out on Netflix, right? Where he's doing what, Minister Jew? He's talking about his near-death experience, what caused it, how he's praising God now, and he's moving around, moving a little different. Anybody familiar with that? Somebody in the chat. Anybody? Anybody? Y'all, have y'all heard about this new stand-up comedy show with Jamie? Somebody in the chat. Anybody in the chat? Okay. So, somebody noticed. Let's just read. Jamie Foxx confirms he was paying homage to Martin Lawrence in new stand-up special on Netflix. He wore a similar tan outfit as Martin did in his Run Tell That special from 2002. Nice. But in this same special, Martin Lawrence was talking about his near-death experience. And somebody jokingly put, Jamie went in Martin Lawrence's old closet to get his fit from Run Tell That in 2002. Huh? So you may say, Drew, where you going with this? But now notice, he wore the same type of gear that Martin Lawrence wore in his stand-up Run and Tell That. Well, he was talking about his near-death experience. So now what did Jamie just do, y'all? What did he do? What did he just do? Say it again, affluent goddess. He tapped into that ductwork. He tapped into that electrical current. But boy, let me tell you something, boy, about these currents. Oh, these archetypes gonna fully display themselves whether you conscious of the repercussions or not. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? So what did Jamie do? Jamie went and did what, Jew? He built things according to the pattern in which he previously saw. See, this whole thing is a psychological thing, people. It's a psychological drama. And you got people out here arguing about that the characters exist. Paul was Ophiuchus, Paul Ophiuchus. And, Jesus didn't really walk in any water. And none of those prophets lived. Like they're arguing these elementary, of course we know. Listen, anybody with good sense knows, okay, well, if we see that there's no evidence for these people really existing, right? And whatever evidence they try to produce for it's very circumstantial. Oh, we found a tablet that said the word Joseph on it. You know what I'm saying? It'd be that type of thing. Well, if we know that there's very little evidence for it, then what else were they trying to convey to us in these elaborate stories? You think I say this all the time. You think people was running around here 2,000-3,000 years ago to trick your ass in 2025 to think that what was happening in 1 BC, right? When at that time where quote unquote black folks weren't even reading no English. Huh? That's what you think? You think that's what you really think? Or maybe there were some gems up underneath the story. Because see, when you start to understand how the brain processes story better than it does facts. It likes the circulating of a story more so than it does for you to read just, okay, today's 89 degrees and tomorrow is going to be 76 degrees, sunny. It does. The brain likes a story. In fact, it loves a story. We learn better from stories. That's a neurological fact. And see, in a story, you can weave in more psychological angles. So now I can take different characters, right? I can take different characters And I can infuse the psychology that I want to demonstrate into this character. They infuse another psychology into that character. Huh? So then this came out, Jew. Let's read this, Jew. Let's read this. TMZ reports. Update. A spokesperson for Jamie tells TMZ, Jamie Foxx was at his birthday dinner when someone from another table threw a glass that hit him in the mouth. He had to get stitches and is recovering. The police were called and the matter is now in the law enforcement's hands. Now, wait a minute, Jew. Wait a minute, Jew. I told y'all, somebody threw something at him, hit him in his mouth, right? Let's read this, Jew. What does two posts or the pattern mean? Huh? What does it mean? Not even a week after he releases the Netflix joint, I'm going to show you spirit, boy. This invisible thing is amazing. What happened to him, Jew? Huh? To be struck, a stamp, or a scar. To get pummeled with a stick. But in any case, to be repeatedly hit with blows. Usually a single blow with a hand or an instrument. So now the other offshoots of the definition of a pattern, not only did it unfold when he called himself making a pattern out of Martin in his storyline, now the rest of all the conscious filters that goes along with this said quote unquote idea starts to happen to him. Now, which really makes me think about something, man. Which really makes me start to think about the blows that quote unquote the Christ took on his way up the mountain to be crucified. How people in the throngs of the crowd was throwing stuff at him. Huh? So I be telling my members when I'm teaching, I said, look, you got to understand something. The moment that you cross over the veil and you realize that you can program this matrix, you know what starts to happen? All kind of stuff start coming out of the woodworks. It's like the moment you pull the sheet back off of the matrix, it says, oh my God, we got a live one here. Somebody could see. Y'all remember that movie? What was the name of that movie? They Know, where when the guy put on the glasses, he was able to see all the subliminal signs on the billboards. But when he took them off, everything looked normal. Right? And the moment that they found out one of them could see, when he put them glasses on, all of a sudden, all of the agents who were really these skeletons walking around and looked like humans, they said, oh my God, there's one that could see us. Say it again. They lived. 1988. Thank you. Thank you. Say it again. They lived. That was the movie. So what happens is the moment you snatch the sheets off, then all of a sudden the matrix be like, oh no, we got to keep them down here. Because if she gets away, if he gets away, there's going to be potentially more apostles that are born down here. And then the gig is up. So all of a sudden you be like, man, that happened. And then that little thing happened. And so what tries to happen is that principality that's fighting against you, that's not physical, all of a sudden it's trying to push you off the mark. Like, no, go back to the matrix. Y'all remember the scene in the Matrix when one of the guys went back up to meet the Merovingian? I forget which character it was, but he went back up there to go meet somebody in the Matrix. He's like, listen, I want to get out of this thing. I just want to go back to my regular life. I want to know what it tastes like to eat steak again and really be able to savor the moment. He really wanted to go back to just being a regular degular. He got tired, right? And so sometimes that happens to people. They like, damn, then that popped up. And I tell them, oh, yeah. You You're gonna have to be like the Christ when he was in this 40-day, 40-night sabbatical. When he told him, look, this quote unquote devil came, tried to coerce him. He said, no, nope, not gonna let you do it. And so it takes a different type of individual, huh? So let's keep going, Jew. So I want to show y'all. So HuffPost, arts and culture, because I want to show you this thing ain't limited to Kamala. I did a private presentation for my members on Donald Trump, so I'm going to give y'all a couple little snippets. People weren't ready for it. They probably never will be, because people be so emotional about this stuff. And so I said, nah, I'm just going to give it to the people who already decided that this is what they want to do. But I give y'all some snippets here. So here's an article from Huffington Post, right? Arts and culture. Because remember, we started off by saying what? Who's writing the script? Everybody say it's a script. And what did I say? I said multiple people are adding their pen, adding their thoughts to the script. And so everybody's adding into this quantum gumbo. And then it's computing, and then it's spitting out digits called people, events. So let's read this. A dystopian novelist predicted Trump's campaign slogan in the 1990s. Octavia Butler wrote about a zealot who promised to do what, Minister Jew? I see you, Quantum Saint. Did you embody the good shepherd state? Great answer. Right? A dystopian novelist predicted Trump's campaign slogan in the 90s. Octavia Butler wrote about a zealot who promised to make America great again. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar to anybody? So if you look on the right, it gets into the whole story of it all. Huh? Our doors are open to every nationality, every race. Leave your sinful past behind and become one of us. Help us to do what? Make America great again. He's had notable success with this carrot and stick approach. And so this was a slogan that she made for a president in a quote unquote fictional novel. Say it again, Crystal. She had it down to the year in the book. See, this is why I be telling y'all, don't be afraid to be specific about your goals. See, let me tell you something. If you're not specific about your goals, you know what you're really saying? You don't really believe that this thing is real. You're afraid to be specific because you be like, no, that can't happen like that. It's no way it could possibly happen just like that. But let me tell you something. Yes, it can. Just like that. You just got to be unwavering in your faith that it will. Huh? So guess who knows? Guess who knows? Oh, y'all ain't gonna like this. Guess who knows? Guess who knows? So let's look at this, Jew. Let's look at this on the left. Duff Goldman. This is a tweet. 2017. The cake on the left is the one I made for President Obama's inauguration 4 years ago. The one on the right is Trump's, and I didn't make it. Oh boy. So this guy, Duff Goldman, master baker, made a cake for Obama in 2012. Huh? Trump has his cake made in 2017 for his inauguration. And he had somebody make the exact same cake. Time out. Time out. Time out. What are you doing, sir? What are you doing, sir? What are you doing? What are you up to? What do you know, sir? You think that's by coincidence? You think you get a whole nother baker to bake a night? So you mean tell me one baker who doesn't know about the other cake gets a request from Trump and says, bake me an inauguration cake, and they come out with the exact same cake? No. Now I can go into more detail about Trump, but I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Look on the left. This is from on the right. Look from CNN. Melania Trump channels Jackie Kennedy in Ralph Lauren outfit. Now, if I were their advisors, I probably would have told her not to wear a Jackie Kennedy outfit, though, because her husband was assassinated. So if Minister Jew was in the midst of these people, I would have had her channel somebody else. Another presidential first lady. Because see, when you tap into these streams, so you think you being cute. You think you using the law, but do you know all the ins and outs of the law? So you done tapped into a current, you done attached to that ductwork, and now you getting that same energy being pulled down and into your experience. Huh? 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 So what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen? Remember the mirrors that I talked about? Stack. You steady stacking all of these similarities. You steady tapping into the same vein, right? So, you go to the hospital, they got to put an IV in you. They typically say, we want to put it in the same vein. Where's the last spot that they had the IV, right? We probably tap into that same vein. It's a little easier. Huh? So what's the science behind this? What's the science behind the quantum mirrors? How are people learning how to reflect these things and have an image, like a holographic image? See, let me tell y'all something. This whole place is a playground for image making. See, because scripture tells us, well, we are made in the image of. They try to tell you right at the gate, it's about the image. You are making things in the image of. See, some of this stuff is so simple. People be trying to make this stuff so deep. This stuff is very simple, really, in all honesty. Right? But let's just look at this, Jew. Let's look at this. When we're exposed, this is science, we're exposed to emotions, stimulated by events. Guess what our brains do? We learn how to co-create these simulations to those same emotions. So let me tell you what Trump doing, what other people are doing that are conscientious of this thing. See, they know certain things are going to move and cause hysteria. They know that certain things are going to put people in an emotional state, whether good or bad. If I can control how you feel and what you think, I can take that mass amount of energy and project it and make a situation or an outcome or an event. Why? Because now I'm going to, those simulated emotions that I just finagled you into experiencing, right? My next headline may be the one that guides you and points you in the direction for what it is that I want to see developed in my world. So when we put out certain emotions, guess what we do? We attract those same emotions and outcomes to ourselves. Now, let me tell you what this is at in scripture. So in Job, what did Job say, Jude? He said, the thing that I feared the most has come upon me. So that was they were giving you neuroscience there. But like I said, you could take these states of consciousness and project them into a character in a story to prove a point. So when Job says stuff like the thing that I feared the most has come upon me, essentially what he's saying is the emotions that I had, the stuff that I ruminated in my psychology the most, I attracted these things to me. I co-created these things. I made simulations in my own mind about all this damn bad news, about whatever it is that's going on in my life that I don't like. Okay, well then turn the page. But see, it's hard because our emotions get stuck there and we don't know how to navigate through those things. So when scriptures say put off the former conversation, throw off the old man, put on the new man, they're giving you the game. You listen, you got to put off the former conversation. You have to. Because you got to make a new neural network connection in your brain to refocus and push that energy in another direction. If not, guess what you're going to do? You're just going to keep on simulating the same experience over and over and over and over again. So where was this at? Mass presentations of emotional facial expressions modulate amygdala activity without, keyword, without explicit knowledge. So you don't have to know. You see how, I don't want to use the word dangerous, but do you see how serious this thing is? These things can be done without your explicit knowledge of them. Journal of Neuroscience, 1998. Huh? So look, I'm gonna show y'all, because remember, it's a script. Who's writing the script? Who's writing the script? Anybody know this movie right here? We Take the Low Road. Has anybody ever heard of this movie? Shout out to my ambassador. One of the ambassadors sent me this the other day. Anybody know what this movie about? We Take the Low Road? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, let me give you the plot on this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read the plot on this. I'll read the plot. Came out 2019. So here's just a brief synopsis. After his father loses the battle with cancer, Mason, along with Thompson and Bobby, seek murderous justice against the who? Pharmaceutical CEOs. After his father loses battle with cancer, Mason, along with Thomas and Bobby, seek murderous justice against the pharmaceutical CEOs. Now, who's been paying attention to the news the last week? What just happened to one of the CEOs in the medical field? Well, Mr. Luigi, and it's interesting, man, because when I dare you to go do the etymology on Luigi. If I'm not mistaken, it comes out to like war, starting a war. And boy, did he start one, right? But But this is why I say these things be brewing. Everybody's adding something into the gumbo pot, right? Which also means too, in scripture they'll tell you, the prayers of one righteous man goes a long way. And what's the science of that? See if you know the ins and outs of this thing, it don't take but one person to change in the dynamic from what hundreds of thousands or even millions of people have put into the gumbo pot. So they'll tell you in scripture, they'll say, it was I who was treading alone in the wine press. I think it's in the book of Isaiah. They said, I did it alone. It was me that trampled upon the thousands and thousands of men. So what were they trying to tell you? It ain't got to be a million of us. It don't got to be a million. Listen, I'm speaking from experience because I've included my members in some of these things that we've done. Pink Chicago. We've done exercises on hurricanes before. We've done exercises on when they told you the gas prices was going to be going up. And listen, in the middle of the prices going up. Minister Juice told his members, said, look, we're going to put a placebo out and we're going to see the gas prices going down. Literally 3 weeks later, if not shorter, all the gas prices start going down. Even after all of the news reporting agencies, CNN, ABC, NBC, Fox, Political, everybody was saying gas prices are going to continue to go up for the rest of the summer. So we take on the state of consciousness of that person in Isaiah that says, it was I who did it alone. So no, it don't take thousands or millions of people. It does not. It does not. But what it does take is people who have enough insight, right? Because the more that you understand about a phenomenon, the greater mastery you have over the outcomes. You see? Say it again, good vibes. Isaiah 63:3. Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Right? Somebody said in my key Glock voice, it just got to be one. Right? So, anyways, so I'm looking at this, right? And I always tell, I'm going to end it with this. I'm looking at this, right? And I always tell people the same thing. You got to find yourself in the story. Right? Because listen, I already know I've been sent to do this. This is my passion. I love it. I love getting on here, dropping these jewels, man, opening the mind, spreading your awareness and stretching it as far as it can go. Giving you a moment where you can escape and really tune into the field of God, right? The mechanics of how this thing works. And so as I'm looking through all of this stuff, right? This is something that me and Ampu used to always say. We used to be like, man, you got to find yourself in the story, right? Where are you at in the story? So I'm looking at the story. I'm looking at this joint, the release date of We Take the Low Road as I'm getting prepared to share this information. Look on the date that it was released, y'all. Can somebody say May 23rd? Well, that's the good old Minister Jew's birthday. I said, okay, thanks for the hood. Thanks for the wink. Thanks for the wink. See, the quantum field to give you these cataledons. It'll throw you these, these ration packs. Here. Yeah, you in the right place. Yeah, explain it. Yeah, break it down. Yeah, this for you. Yeah, it'll do that. Huh? So you got to listen. Keep digging, man. Keep digging. Keep digging. Keep searching. Whoever knocks, the door shall be open. Seeking, you shall find. It's going to be there. But I encourage everybody, listen, take these principles and use them in your personal space, in your personal life. Listen, me and Ampu say this all the time. If it ever comes to a point where we think we got to do something collectively, then we'll make the call. We'll make the call and say, hey, look, y'all, we doing this tonight. Meet us at Stone Mountain. We finna climb up that big old magnetic rock. Or meet us at the Serpent Mound. We go, like, if we come to that point, we feel like we got to do, then we'll do it. We done took people all over this country. We done been to all the mounds you could think of. You name it, we've been there on voyages with several people. We've been doing it since 2010. 2010. We've been to Etowah Mounds, Emerald Mounds, Poverty Point, Serpent Mound, Mount Shasta, Chimney Rock, Grandfather Mount, Stone Mountain. We done been to all the mountains, all the mounds. All the vortexes in Arizona, we done been to all these places. Why? Because we building up a quantum mirror too. Because when we step foot back in that space, we want all the awareness and intelligence of that region to say, oh, it's these guys again. We remember these guys. So you think, listen, everything is conscious. Everything is conscious. It remembers. It remembers. You know? So look, man. Listen. I appreciate everybody that came through the kick. And listen, man, it's a different time for Jew. I usually come on in the evenings, but like I said, look, members, when I log out of here, I'm about to go in. I got all my throwbacks. Listen, you interested? Look in the description box below, man. You could join the memberships. We got 2 different memberships. We got premium membership, quantum imaging, and then we got the sub membership, which is the God frequency membership, 2 different tiered prices. So I got something for everybody. On the Sundays, every Sunday I send out throwback recordings from previous classic webinars that have never been seen by the general public. I got over 400 recordings that have never been seen by the general public. I'm not exaggerating that either. Over 400, going all the way back to 2016. And so every week, so like now I think we on the first week of January for 2018. So I got to go in there, sign in, and I'm going to send some of the throwbacks out from that timeline, January of 2018, the memberships and the people in the God frequency. And I'm going to send it to the quantum imaging too, because we didn't have class today. So I like to always keep people with something to listen to and or practice or do, even when we're not live and having these calls and whatnot, where you can go back and listen to Throwback Jew. And you might catch something that I said way back when that I might not be talking about right now, or it's not pushing to the front of my memory at the time. You'd be like, oh, okay. And that may give you some more insight in the direction to go. So when I log off here, I'm gonna make sure I get that out to all the members. But if you're interested in joining either one of the ministries memberships, in the description box below are the links there. If you want to do a one-on-one tracing God consultation, link is there. If you want to download and purchase the Wishing Well technique, that link is also there. Visit Amazon. All my books are there. Minister Jew, Hip Hop Laws of Attraction, Minister Jew, Imagination at Work. Those books are available in print on Amazon. So if you want to get some literature from me, that would be the way about doing it. Other than that, man, listen, I appreciate all of you guys all of the time. Shout out to all my ambassadors in the chat, the ambassadors of the light. I saw you, Val, over there. I see y'all in the chat, man. Shout out to Crystal, everybody else, all the ambassadors, man. I love y'all. And with that, man, I catch y'all on these YouTube streets later. Peace.